What's up, Tom? Feel free to ask me some questions or anything you want to say. Ask me about my thoughts on the New York Times community, anything like that. It's all open forum for me. Uh, yeah, just ask me anything, I guess. Just seeing how this works. That's awesome, Tom. Yeah, just had a couple hours here to probably more about a half hour, just see with how this works and what's going on. And then I'm going to record my second video for tomorrow. But I thought I'd try this out while people might have still been awake or on YouTube and see if they want to talk to me live. I don't know. hard to predict what people want to see nowadays, right? There's so many different creators out there, all with their own style of doing things. I thought I'd try this out. I know Kenny does some streams too, but I'm not quite technically apt enough to do gameplay and chatting at the same time. But I thought I'd just do a little ask me anything or something and see what happens. So I haven't seen too many of your comments in the videos. I guess you've been busy, eh? No, I'm pretty open with you all. I mean, I've told you as much as I can without doxing myself, or I do have young children, so I don't really want to say too much about myself or where I went to school or anything. But yeah, I mean, I have thoughts on the YouTube situation and everything like that, but I don't feel like it's something I should talk about in a video because I'm trying to make it to a larger audience. But yeah, certainly there are people with their own ideas of how the game should be played. And they're very critical of creators that don't follow those thoughts and those aspirations that those viewers have. And it makes it very difficult for us sometimes because we're trying to at least satisfy the majority of the user base, but you can never please everybody, eh? Yeah, I was supposed to referee tonight, but one of the teams that was supposed to be in the playoffs got in a fight last week, so they got disqualified. So instead of 6 games happening tonight, there was only 4. So me being the head ref, I decided to not go and gave it to the other 2 people so they can make some money. And honestly, it's really cold here. It's better just to stay inside. It's if you know the Celsius temperature system, it's about -20 with the wind chill. I was talking to Chaz about that today. But if you have any ideas about how to get more viewers on or anything, that would be great. I like the small community we have, of course, but um, you know, the growth has been slow and steady, which is good. I mean, uh, you know, of the 229, 230 people we have, getting an average of 140 to 160 views a day is pretty darn good, I'd say. That means the majority of everybody's watching it once. Maybe some people are watching it twice. So I'll definitely take that. Yeah, my breadth of knowledge just comes from being immersed in different things every day, right? Like I'm old enough to know about, for example, Popeye today, but I'm also current enough to know about some of the kids shows, the Blueies and things like that. So anything beyond maybe the early 80s, I think would be out of my knowledge base. But luckily, Win to Lose the same age as me, I think, or relatively close. So if she knows about it, then likely I know about it too, even being in a different country. So um, yeah, what not that anybody's really pointed it out, but there are some of the games that only I play on a daily basis. For example, Sports Connections. Um, the Zor's there for a while. Well, honestly, Zor's, I only had access to it. Nobody else really did. Um, I know other people do Sudoku and things like that, but I feel like that's a bit too much. There's too many people playing those games. But I don't know. The audience for things like Sports Connections is a bit smaller as well, right? Let's see. There's 4 people here, I think. 3 down to 3. Okay, that's all right. I just want to see how this works. I mean, I'm still working to hook another screen so that I can do gameplay at the same time as chatting, but it's not. I'm still pretty new at this, right? My desk isn't that big. I just recently bought a stand for my webcam, so it's a work in progress. I will say that it's not the first thing on my list of priorities to look after. I think the majority of people just want to see the daily videos for the games, and they don't care so much about streaming and things because honestly, if I stream the games, it doesn't come out as a daily video with fresh content. So there's that about it as well, right? Yeah, I get that. Sports is kind of a niche topic. I'm surprised actually it's lasted this long on the New York Times website. I mean, Source I think was more popular than Sports Connections, but you know what? There's a couple of people that like it and maybe it'll catch on. But I think really, if I wanted to be at the level of say Ranked or something like that, I'd have to spend 6 to 8 hours a day on my videos. I mean, he's got stuff on TikTok and these other social media apps. I don't have that kind of time. And I will say this, it's almost to the point where you have to do something really, really well. For example, Doug does 2 games a day. He does Wordle and he does Connections. He expands both those games into, let's say, a 10-minute episode. And I mean, I don't have that much time to take 10 minutes to solve a puzzle. I mean, I could do theme days like the Fearless Fridays, or I mean, I could do something like that, but I'd just be stealing from what Doug has. Someone mentioned Fearless Fridays, maybe with Connections, where I try and go for reverse rainbow, but I feel like that should be a daily attempt, right? Hope Chaz, there you are. Yeah, that's me. I'm here. I'm doing a short stream. This is my gym. This is me. Yeah, I'm in the flesh. You can ask all the questions you want. At about 9:30, I think I'll peace out because I have to record my video. I've already done one. I'll do the other one for tomorrow, the bonus games. Yeah, that's about it, really. I mean, it's nice to have a night off from soccer and everything, but I thought I'd see how this works and go from there. So yeah, Charles, this is oh, hi Michelle. People are just pouring in now. This is great. So for anybody wondering, I'll say I've already said this to Tom, but I'm looking for some questions from you that I can answer. really, I'm just trying to see how this works. I mean, next time I have a stream, I'll probably try to have some gameplay, but I haven't set that up yet. And I think for our first stream, it would be great to just answer some questions. But realistically, what I want to do is maybe explain a bit about my approach to the New York Times games and how I'm looking to go forwards. It's a very overpopulated creator group we have, and people are being pulled in different directions as far as viewers go, and it's hard for everybody to really commit to anybody. Not that we're asking for monogamy or anything, but what I think people most value is the fact that everyone has a different approach, a different candor, a different demeanor. It's just a matter of making yourself separated from everybody else as far as your content, so that it makes you a destination. Not necessarily the first, second, or third place that people go, but a place that somebody wants to go later on throughout the day just to see what's up with that particular creator. So, yeah, I think, Charles, everybody gets kind of your humor. They know you're being very playful. And yes, she is very smart. I will give her that. Reverse rainbows and threes and Wordle, Spangram first and strands, even sports connection. I mean, she beats me most of the days, you know. But I'd assume, and I've said this before about Michelle, she's the end of the day comment superstar, because I don't get a comment for about 4 or 5 hours, and all of a sudden I get a notification on my phone saying Michelle L has commented with her results, and it's like, okay, great, we're starting it up again. So, and I do see Michelle on a number of different channels. See, I think that's kind of where I separate myself from the other creators, is I go to their channels and I look at their videos. And honestly, I went to a stream of Doug's a little while ago, and he's like, he didn't even know what to call me, because he's like, probably didn't even know I existed, right? So, yeah, that's true, Michelle. Soccer is your your Achilles heel sometimes. But I do realize the fact that there are 24 hours in a day, and people have multiple things that they need to be, involved in: kids, family, other hobbies, and things. But I at least like to go and visit everybody's channel. I have about 10 different channels that I go to. I try and go there at least 2 or 3 times a week just to see what's up. I know Michelle lives in Hawaii, which I think is an advantage for her in some ways. I think she mentioned it once. She put the fact that the connection spot had a certain percentage solved by, let's say, 3 p.m. HST, I think Hawaii Standard Time, whatever it was. For some reason, I extrapolated out that HST meant Hawaii time, and she's never actually mentioned it. But the fact that I think her logo there is an H, University of Hawaii, maybe, she's not really trying to hide it. But yeah, I think I already said this to Tom, but my goal is to separate myself enough from everybody else's way of playing the game, but not so far different from what they do, because there is a certain formula for success on YouTube, and it's being an individual, solving the games without making it last too long, and as well, you're just trying to be myself as much as I can. Really, people come for the creator; they don't necessarily come for the games, because I think the games are, for the most part, simple enough that people could solve them 85, 90% of the time without any help. And I think even if they come and want help, I think they'd rather fail it on their own than get some help to solve it. I think the One that isn't like that is the crossword. People come to YouTube to look for crossword assistance to at least get them restarted if they've hit a snag. But I think with these, with Wordle and strands and connections and things like that, people just want the community. They want someone to chat with, someone to compare results with, and to be entertained. And honestly, I wouldn't be in this position of having a channel if it wasn't for Art saying, "Hey, Oranje, we want to see your solves. We want to see your methods." And I think most of you have been around long enough to know that my first couple videos were I solved it on my phone. I had my tablet set up recording, or I had my tablet I was solving it on. I had my phone recording. Those are some pretty bush league videos. But once I figured out the webcam thing, and now I have my iPhone that I can have a clearer picture with. I have a stand that my phone is on now. I just bought that the other day. Things are improving quite a bit, but I don't think I'll ever be someone who has gameplay streaming at the same time as my chatting. It's just not going to probably be a thing. Yeah, Hogwarts. Yeah, that's something that we've surprisingly not seen a lot of in connections categories. Is any Harry Potter trivia? Not even in the custom stuff. Not really. Yeah, you're right, Charles. The chatting is pretty cool. I mean, it might not be something that's done all the time, but once in a while, it's decent. Yeah, yeah. The crosswords, Tom, is. I mean, the last week I've done one every day, except I think Thursday or Wednesday or something. If it's too late in the day, I don't think anybody's going to watch my crossword if I release it at, let's say, noon my time. That's just not going to be a thing. It either has to be released soon to Cursorimo's or just after. I mean, with the crossword, if you're looking for the king, you go to Cursorimo. If you're looking for someone like me, you want to see somebody like me solve it, then you come for the solve. You don't come for instant success, for example. There's another guy, David does crosswords. He only does crossword videos. He doesn't do anything else beyond that. So he's a good one for that. And then Ranks has his thing he releases at 3 p.m. or something around, learning the crossword, right? So I think people watch his video, Ranks video, because of who he is, not necessarily looking for the answers. Andrea, whoo, and Ald. If I'm mispronouncing your name, Ald, I appreciate, I apologize for that. Yeah, people are, GeoWiz, what? We're up to 10 people. This is outstanding. Yeah, sorry I'm not having any gameplay here. I only have one screen. So if I had another monitor set up, I could do gameplay. But I think if this is a rarity of a live stream, I think just chatting is good enough. Ask me any questions. Realistically, I just want to see how this works. Fooder. Okay. Old fooder. Okay. Old footer. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. GeoWiz, I haven't actually recorded custom connections yet. I'm doing that as soon as this is over. So the video for tomorrow, the second video, I can't even give you any previews because I haven't done it yet. All I know is your puzzle's being solved. And it is a real beast. Just looking at it briefly yesterday, it's a real beast. That's the only word I can say for it. So, just propping myself up for that mentally. So I think I've already said this 3 times now, but the reason I have 2 separate videos, and I think I've explained this briefly, was the fact that anything longer than 15 minutes, I think is too long to get anybody's attention for that long. Charles says, would you ever bring your dog's family members into the picture? You mean like on a video? I've brought my female dog Sadie into the picture before. I think it was a couple months ago at my old house. Andrea knows. Okay. Um, yeah, my male dog is very he doesn't like to be touched. So if I put a collar on him and a harness, I could pick him up and put him in here. But I mean, by the time I record these videos, it's 9 o'clock at night. He goes to bed with my wife at 8 o'clock with my wife. So it's unlikely he would be around to be in the videos. But I mean, I've put their pictures in the thumbnail before for the videos. My kids, no, sorry, they're too young, and I just don't. Yeah. Simon. I don't know who Simon is. Tom. Yes, Charles, that was my wife. Yeah, she took the video. She made me jump into it, and I don't think there was enough cushion there for a 200-pound person to fall on. So I wasn't that hurt, but peer pressure, disposal pressure. So is everybody okay with the two videos? I'd like to record one at least a day ahead of time. So that's why the sports connections and Zorse are in the first video. It's just the fact that I can pre-record those. I do enjoy Hang 5, but I can only do it the day before, which normally on a day like today, I'd be out all day. I couldn't have recorded that video. So yeah, I'm glad you understand, Charles, because it's just, they're too young. Once they can decide on their own, that's a different situation, but that won't be for a long time, I don't think. The 5-year-old and especially the 3-year-olds, they don't know what they're doing. If they find out I had them on video, in the future, say, why'd you do that to us? It doesn't really add much to the video. I will say that. Okay. Yeah, two videos is good. You saw some of those videos I had where I was playing 11 games and the video was 45 minutes. Yeah, it's just, that's too long. People were leaving after an average of 8 minutes. So I think, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of people I think in the community are just playing Wordle. I'm not sure they care too much about connections. I'm not saying just our community, the whole New York Times community as a whole, I think are just playing Wordle. I think Strands is sort of passe, but I still like it. I did see a stat on the Today Show. I saw a video on YouTube, and Wordle is far and above the highest played game of all the New York Times games. Connections is second. Strands, I think, Strands might be third, and I think Mini Crossword is fourth, which makes a lot of sense to me. But I mean, all these other little games, the Zorse and the sports connections, I just don't think they have the attraction that they used to. Oh, Tom, Simon's the cracking the cryptic guy. Okay. Hey, Marcy. Thanks for stopping by. From BC, a fellow Canadian. That's great. I got my Canada sweatshirt on here. Okay, Andrea says, love the two videos. 7 p.m. play of the mains and listen to me in the AM. Okay, so you do jump ahead. You do it the night before. Okay. Hey, Royce. Oh, another Canadian. Awesome. Yeah, Roy, sure. The reason that I moved the mini crossword to the end of the video, I do appreciate the fact that it's not really useful to a lot of people, but I do value getting my video out at midnight because let me tell you, if I get stuck behind Doug and Art, and then Chris Remo starts coming through, and Scott Stroh's, uh, it's a real logjam. So at least if I'm first, I can be part of that trio of initial videos with Doug and Art, and we'll see what happens there. I mean, I wake up in the morning and I have 60 to 75 views, and sometimes at the end of the day, I have 140 views. So the majority of my views happen between midnight and 6 a.m. Charles says, how are personalities about all your family members, including your pets? My female dog is very friendly. My male dog, the older one, is very unfriendly. My kids they're kids. They're pretty cool. They're pretty smart. I mean, I'm not gonna overrate my children, but I'd say they're pretty smart for their age. My 5-year-old in kindergarten reads grade 3 books, but that's because we prompt him to do it, and my wife's a teacher, so yeah. How many 5-year-olds do you know that can read grade 3 books? Charles says, all the games you do are amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm always looking for new games to play. My colleague there, Word Game Addict, Cheryl, SL Bagwell, Melody Lynn, whatever you want to call her. She does the Jumble. She does the some other larger games from I think the London newspaper, London, England. But you have to have a subscription for that. So you know what? The thing about this community is, unless it's one of the core New York Times games, people are very defensive of the games they play. It's like, oh, you stole my game, even though it's not their game to begin with. But and I will say this now, I'm very surprised that the competition between Doug R and Art is going as cordially as it is. Because, I mean, when Art and I had our little competition there about the spelling bee, it was getting pretty testy. I mean, not that I wanted it to be, but it was becoming that way very quickly. Yeah, Andrea travels to the UK around 7 or 8 p.m. Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's not quite as quite as a destination as me going to Fiji, but or is it Tahiti? I forget. I can't look now. My phone's my webcam, but Suva, wherever Suva is, that's where I travel to. I think it's either Tahiti or Fiji. So my wife, Charles, is well, we've been together for 20 years almost. Married in 2013. Yeah, she's I make her laugh, and that's probably my main attribute that she appreciates. She's definitely a type A personality. She's a school teacher, a special ed teacher. So she has to be on the ball, and she definitely keeps our family on the ball, including me. Yeah, so you can sort of base it off of that, I guess. I suppose. No, Doug R is not everyday Doug. Doug R, I don't think Art will be upset with me saying this, but Doug R was a bit of a troll. He even called him a troll, or Art called Doug R a troll. About Art leaving hard mode to solve that particularly difficult Wordle last month or 2 months ago, I forget. This is all on his video, so I'm not saying new information, but no, to answer your question bluntly, Doug R is not Doug from everyday Doug or Doug from Florida, whatever you want to call him. Andrew says, for a while I was doing New Zealand, but it was too far ahead and had to wait forever to see the solves. Okay. Yeah. You just don't like waiting, do you? That's fair enough. Freedom Writers. Okay. And I know there's been a couple, changing the subject here real quick. I know there's been a couple custom connections puzzles about music. I'm not sure how many people actually play those. I have a couple ideas of that in my mind, of creating my own puzzles involving music, but I don't know. I'm contemplating it. The one I did the other day with the land or the rocks and the stones, I think that's kind of what people are looking for, things that they can really narrow down to one thing. For example, I'm not going to make a puzzle about this, but there was a Watch Mojo video today on YouTube about songs that are, their title does not appear in the lyrics of the song. That would be a heck of a category for custom connections, but I'm not going to do that. Chris Riemo got me through lockdown, so I like his calm approach to irritation. I find his voice soothing. Art, on the other hand, okay. Yeah, when I first got into this community, which was I think about a year and a half ago. Prior to that, it didn't even play them. I think it was might have been Doug that showed up on my recommended, just out of nowhere, because I didn't even play these games. It wasn't even something that would have shown up on my my cookies on the computer. But I watched Doug first, and then I saw Art, and like, who is this guy? And then I discovered that I have more in common with Art than probably I knew. Right, Doug's great at what he does, but Art has the breadth of knowledge that is similar to me, and that's kind of how I broke through, was on Art's channel. So I think I'll always have a soft spot for Art, despite our arguments and our differences of opinion sometimes. But I think at the end of the day, we're very similar, and sometimes people who are very similar don't get along. So I think my dog's at the door. Maybe he'll come in. Here, buddy. There's Bosley. I think he wants to go outside and go pee. So